Showtime, yeah. Showtime. So first things first, how did you come up with the name Nonymous JD?
All right, so actually that name was gifted to me by none other than Trues, an artist down here in Augusta who's been ripping it up for the past few years. Because originally my name was the Anonymous JD, because the way I just went about things was like nobody really knew about me, so I was just like, shit, I'm anonymous. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And after a conversation that we had one time at Grovetown High School, that's where I went. He was saying, "Why are you saying you're anonymous?" I'm like, "Well, because nobody knows me and stuff like that, the whole 9 yards." And he was like, "Well, I don't think so because what I see in you, I see something that you can like really be." And he's like, "Instead of being anonymous, why don't you do something different? You ain't got to name yourself Notorious, Biggie, Pocket, nothing like that. Just say, to be creative, be different, be out the box. So your name is anonymous." And he was like, "Why not just anonymous?"
Right.
I'm like, "What does that even mean?" He's like, "What do you want it to mean?" And I'm like, since then I've just been running with that. So the meaning anonymous to me is like it's damn near everything.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah.
I'm just glad you don't got little, baby, young in your name. I'm just glad you got something different. I'm tired of all that.
Yeah.
Right. So how long have you been rapping for?
Um Actually since I was up there living in Boston, I started out like early, like I'm not gonna say early because people say early like 7 years old. I'm not gonna say that. But I started out back when I was going to the Renaissance. I think I was in fourth or fifth, yeah, fourth grade when I started, and I really got into it. And then as I got down here, it was like I met more people around my age who actually took it more seriously than I did, and that's what got me more into it. And for a period in time, I stopped because they were actually, like I said, they were ahead of me. I was just sitting, like, just carrying my book around, like, oh yeah, I'm a rapper. I got a rap book and everything. They was actually recording tracks, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I just write, but I took that time to actually practice writing. And I think that that was good for me because I actually learned how to do storytelling and formation of my stuff and stuff like that. So it's kind of a little bit of a science to how I take care of my stuff. But yeah, I've been into it for a while. So
Perfect. So you have a new project and it's called No Filter. How did your project come about?
well, actually, it started with the tape that I dropped earlier this year, unfiltered tape, and
Okay.
I had just dropped that out of nowhere because those 3 tracks were originally going to be on the project. So the project came from, I had saw a post that I had shared. It was one of my tracks had it was one of the anniversary of one of my tracks, and I was like, dang man, I really need to get back in the studio.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I got some songs. I had went to the studio and I recorded those 3 songs, and I was like, I think I want to make an album out of something, just something just raw that's really myself or whatever. I don't want to call it raw though, because everybody got something that's called raw or that's something like that. You know what I'm saying? Along
Yes.
those lines. So I'm like, nah, I'm gonna call it something else. And I don't know how the conversation went between me and the producer, and I had came up with the name No Filter. And I was like, No Filter. I like that. That's like not like No Filter. I think we was looking at a picture of a girl or something. Not like that though. And I was, and I was like, yeah, I like the No Filter and stuff like that. Like it's just real because she was real and authentic with her photos and that whole shoot. And that actually where I got it from. And I was like, that's actually kind of real, No Filter. And that's how it dawned on me.
Right.
So after I recorded those songs, I was like, I really want to make a project called No Filter.
Okay.
So that's when I started writing some more songs, some more tracks. Some of the tracks that are on there now, that's I had started writing. I think Quickie and all of those. Quickie and what Backwoods I wrote first. Um, And I was like, yeah, I can really do something. But as I kept going and picking out the actual beats, because I picked the beats first and then I got everything written down to them. The sound, like I changed the project at least 3 times. And after the third time, and I still had these 3 songs, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to drop this. So I dropped those 3 songs and I called it the Unfiltered tape. And it was supposed to be like a prelude leading into No Filter.
Okay.
And like I said, No Filter went through a lot of changes because there were so many songs that I recorded and so many songs that I was just like, yeah, that's not gonna be on the project. Cause I was actually trying to take time and like precise, like what sound do I want on this project? And it came to a point where it was like, I want all my sounds on there because I have so many influences. I listen to so many different artists. I listen to artists like J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake. I listen to those guys. Listen to some older artists like Rick James. Like I've been listening to a lot of Rick James this year for no reason. And some other older artists, especially I forgot her name. I forgot her name, but who made Sweet Love?
Anita Baker.
Anita Baker, yes. It just yes, Anita Baker. She influenced me on that project, especially in that first track, Real Heavy. I got that from her. And like, but a lot of underground artists is where I got the influence from the project. Artists like Boss, like Spillage Village, all of them guys, like just hearing their stuff and what they put out this year, it was just like it was continued momentum for me, and putting that effort that they like that I got from that inspiration into my project is where I got that from and just trickled down. Now the cover for it, I actually had a different cover, but like I said, Truls played another role into that, and he had asked me why am I going to put this cover, because the cover I had was of somebody else, and he was like, "That's you thinking about Anonymous again and not the Anonymous," and I'm like, "You right, you right." So I did a photo shoot with Jarrell Stevens down here, real good photographer.
Okay.
One of the only photographers I trust outside of my girl, because she's a photographer. She actually took the shoot for the Rain cover with me, saw Jules on it.
Okay.
So we did that shoot. He sent me the photos back. I was like, I feel this particular one, like this particular one stuck out to me out of all of them, and I was like, yeah, that's the one right there. So that's where the project came from.
Hey then. Okay, so what is your favorite song on the album and why?
Oh man, that's tough. Like if you had asked me a while back ago, I would say Backwoods, because that was like I could just ride to that. I could ride to that track any day of the week. It was really supposed to be Night Ride, because when I heard the beat the first time, I'm like, I'm gonna kill this track. But then when I did it, I was like, all right, cool, yeah, I like this track. But I outdid myself on previous on ones after that. So I would have to say So Good. Either So Good is my favorite track or Note to Self.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you talk about lyrics because I was listening to one of your songs, Faded, which I like. You gives me that cool, breeze, chilling, kind of like Snoop Dogg a little bit feel to it. But you had said something. I was like, hold up, brother. Don't get caught lying. You was like, I'll say the lyrics to you. It's the Nonymous kid. I'm from the 706. And I'm like, no, you're not, brother. But then you switched it up and said 617. Girl, you know who I be. It's the Nonymous kid from the Dirty Bean. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, shoot, the bars. I was like, okay, you switched it up. But I'm glad, you're representing the Beam all day. So, anybody from the Beam, I will represent rock all day, every single day.
For real. Like, actually, speaking of Faded, because I was gonna talk about that. I was gonna say that, but So Good and the other track was really my favorite, Note to Self. But Faded, I was actually high as hell when I wrote that. I was high as hell when I recorded it. That's why I was so natural. Like, honestly, that take was real, because I caught myself and I was like, I was just flowing with it. I didn't even write that track. It was just I found the beat. I was like, I had nothing for it. He's like, just come in and just say something. And out came that verse, like just high and just all natural. That's why I love this project. No filter. I'm just doing this. This is just me right here.